Grocery shelves are about to empty, not from panic, but policy. By March 2026, your $20 grocery run could cost $35, unless you act this week. Hey there, David here, and if you've been watching the headlines, you know something's brewing. In December 2025, the U.S. quietly expanded Section 301 tariffs on hundreds of Chinese imports. Sounds bureaucratic? It's not. These tariffs hit food packaging, canning lines, and even the machines that seal your pasta boxes. The USDA just confirmed prices on core pantry staples could spike 18 to 32% by April. And unlike last time, this isn't about supply chain delays. It's baked into the law. So today, we're locking in the top 13 pantry essentials to stock up on now before tariffs hit hard. These aren't just survival picks, they're strategic buys that'll save you hundreds, and maybe your sanity. Number 13, rubber bands. Don't roll your eyes, rubber bands are quietly critical. Remember 2023? Schools couldn't bind papers. Offices ran out of ways to organize cables. Even hospitals struggled to secure IV lines during a minor supply hiccup. It sounds silly until you need one and can't find it. Right now, synthetic rubber imports used in most cheap, durable rubber bands are facing a new 25% U.S. tariff that kicked in January 2026. That means prices will jump, shelves will thin, and within weeks they'll be gone from dollar stores and big box aisles alike. But their value in a pinch is massive. Use them to tightly seal open bags of rice or flour, keeping bugs and moisture out. Bundle fire starter twigs for your emergency kit. Fix a broken strap on your bug-out bag with a quick wrap and twist. Even hang small items by looping them through hooks. They weigh nothing, cost pennies, and take up zero space, yet they solve a dozen tiny problems before they become big ones. And because nobody thinks to hoard them, they disappear fast the moment demand spikes. Grab a few bulk packs now. Look for hashtag 16 or hashtag 32 sizes. They're the most versatile. Store them in an old sock drawer, a shoebox, or tucked inside a book. Out of sight, but ready when chaos or just a loose bag of beans strikes. Number 12, vegetable oil, ORD. Fat isn't just for frying, it's survival fuel. Without cooking oil, your rice, beans, and oats turn into bland, dry meals that nobody wants to eat, especially during stress. Right now, vegetable oil prices are climbing fast. Why? New tariffs on imported soybeans and palm oil processing equipment mean less supply and higher costs. The USDA predicts a 20% price jump by spring 2026. Even worse, most store-bought oils come in clear plastic bottles that degrade in light, shortening shelf life. That's where smart preppers pivot. Buy larger jugs while they're still affordable, but transfer half into dark glass bottles or food-grade metal cans for long-term storage. Keep them in a cool, dark pantry. Better yet, consider lard. Yes, real lard. It's shelf-stable for years if sealed properly, handles high-heat cooking better than most oils, and adds rich flavor to everything from biscuits to stews. Plus, it doesn't scream emergency stockpile, just looks like grandma's old-timey baking ingredient. Store it in a reused mason jar labeled baking fat or shortening, and nobody will think twice. And don't forget, fat house show calories. In a crisis where energy matters, a tablespoon of oil delivers 120 dense usable calories fast. That's not just cooking, it's calorie insurance. So while others wait for the perfect survival food, you'll be sauteing onions in calm confidence, turning basic staples into actual meals. Grab at least 2 gallons now, rotate 1 into your regular cooking so it doesn't sit unused. Because when shelves thin and prices soar, having fat on hand won't just keep your meals edible, it'll keep your spirits up too. Number 11, peanut butter. Peanut butter isn't just a nostalgic lunchbox staple, it's a prepper's secret weapon. Right now, Georgia, the heart of America's peanut belt, is in its 3rd straight year of drought. The 2025 harvest came in 18% below average, and prices are already creeping up. Add new tariffs on packaging materials and processing machinery, and that $3 jar could easily hit $5 by summer. But here's why you need it. Peanut butter packs 7 grams of protein and 190 calories per serving, needs no refrigeration, and lasts up to 2 years unopened. It's comfort food that actually fuels you. Kids eat it without complaining. Adults smear it on crackers during power outages and call it dinner. In a pinch, it can even be used as bait or a makeshift fire starter, thanks to its oil content. Go for the no-stir kind in plastic tubs, They're more stable, less messy, and won't separate like natural varieties. Avoid glass jars. They're breakable and heavy if you ever need to move fast. Store your stash in a basement bin labeled snacks, or tuck it behind canned goods, nothing flashy. Rotate one jar into your weekly meals so you're not stuck with expired paste later. And don't underestimate morale. During the 2024 Texas grid failure, families reported that peanut butter sandwiches were the one thing that kept kids calm. It's familiar. It's filling. It's quiet resilience in a tub. So while others stockpile beans and bullets, you'll have the one item everyone actually wants to eat, even when the lights go out. Grab 3 or 4 containers this week. Your future self will thank you between bites. Number 10. Canned tomatoes. Canned tomatoes are the unsung hero of your pantry, and they're about to get expensive. Thanks to rising aluminum costs and new tariffs on can linings, many of which come from China, prices are set to jump nearly 30% by mid-2026. But don't just think of them as pasta sauce base. These little cans are packed with vitamin C, critical when fresh produce vanishes, and their natural acidity helps preserve other foods, tenderize tough cuts of meat, and even clean rust-off tools in a pinch. Unlike fancy gourmet imports, go for plain diced, crushed, or whole-peeled tomatoes in BPA-free cans. They're cheap now, often under $1 at warehouse stores, shelf-stable for 2-5 years, and turn bland beans or rice into something that actually tastes like a meal. During the 2025 East Coast supply crunch, families who had canned tomatoes didn't just eat better, they stayed healthier, avoiding scurvy-like fatigue from low vitamin intake. Store them sideways under beds or in closet corners. No need for flashy shelving. And here's a pro tip. Buy a few cans of tomato paste, too. It's ultra concentrated, lasts even longer, and a spoonful deepens flavor in any stew or soup. Don't wait until recipes start calling for tomato alternatives. By then, shelves will be bare, and what's left will cost twice as much. Right now, you can still grab a 12-pack for less than $10. That's not hoarding, that's smart math. So next time you're at the store, toss 2 extra cans in your cart. Your future chili, soup, and emergency pasta night will thank you. Number 9. Oats. Oats might seem humble, but they're a powerhouse hiding in plain sight. Rolled or steel cut, they're cheap, filling, and crazy versatile. But here's the problem. U.S. oat production dropped 11% in 2025 due to extreme weather in the Midwest and Northern Plains, according to NOAA's January 2026 crop report. At the same time, global demand is surging, especially from food aid programs responding to climate-driven shortages. That means prices are climbing fast. Right now, you can still get bulk oats for under 20 cents per serving. In 3 months, that could double. Don't underestimate what oats can do. Cook them into hot cereal with powdered milk and honey for breakfast. Grind them into flour for emergency pancakes. Use them as a binder in veggie burgers or meat extenders when protein runs low. They're also great for calming upset stomachs. A spoonful in warm water works like old-school medicine. For storage, buy plain, unflavored oats in large resealable bags or buckets. Then split them into smaller Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. This pushes shelf life past 10 years. Keep them in a closet, under stairs, or even inside an old cooler labeled camping gear. Nobody raids the oat stash until they realize it's the only thing keeping hunger at bay. And unlike flashier survival foods, oats don't attract attention. No bright labels, no weird smells, just quiet, reliable fuel. So while others stockpile flashy gadgets, you'll be simmering a pot of cinnamon less, but still oatmeal during the next supply scare, calm, fed, and ready for whatever comes next. Grab at least 10 pounds this week. Your pantry and your peace of mind will be stronger for it. Number 8, honey. Honey isn't just sweet, it's practically immortal. Archaeologists have found 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs, and it was still edible. That's not a myth, it's science. Real, raw, sealed honey never spoils. No expiration date, no refrigeration needed. And in a world where sugar prices are spiking, thanks to new tariffs on imported cane and beet processing aids, honey is your stable, natural alternative. Right now, U.S. honey costs are holding steady, but global demand is surging. Why? Because smart households know it does more than sweeten tea. It's a natural cough suppressant, a wound antiseptic, yes, really, medieval armies used it, and a quick energy boost when stress hits. During the 2025 Pacific Northwest blackout, families reported that a spoonful of honey in warm water kept kids calm and hydrated when morale was low. Buy raw honey in glass jars with tight seals, avoid plastic squeeze bottles, they degrade over time. Store them in a dark cupboard or tuck them into a kitchen cabinet labeled baking supplies. It looks innocent, but it's pure resilience in amber form. And unlike refined sugar, honey won't crystallize into useless rock if stored properly. Even better, it boosts flavor in otherwise bland survival meals. Stir some into oatmeal, glaze roasted roots, or mix with vinegar for a tangy dressing that makes canned beans feel gourmet. Don't wait for the honey shortage headlines. By then, shelves will be picked clean, and what's left will cost twice as much. Grab 2 or 3 jars this week. Keep one in rotation for daily use, and stash the rest. Because when everything else feels uncertain, a spoonful of something sweet and timeless can be the smallest act of hope. Number 7. Iodized salt. Salt is more than just flavor. It's a lifeline. And not just any salt, iodized salt. Why? Because iodine prevents thyroid dysfunction, especially when fresh food disappears and your diet shrinks to rice and beans. During prolonged emergencies, iodine deficiency can cause fatigue, brain fog, and even goiters, issues you absolutely don't need when every decision matters. Regular table salt won't cut it. It lacks this critical nutrient. But iodized salt? It's cheap, widely available, and lasts indefinitely if kept dry. Right now, a 26-ounce container costs less than $1 at most stores. Yet new tariffs on imported anti-caking agents and packaging materials could push prices up 25% by spring 2026. Don't wait. Buy several boxes. Store them in an airtight container inside a kitchen drawer or pantry bin labeled baking or spices. It draws zero attention but packs massive utility. Use it to preserve meat through dry curing, rehydrate electrolytes in water, inch per liter, helps prevent cramps, or clean minor wounds as a saline rinse. It's also essential for fermenting vegetables, stretching your food supply long after the power goes out. And unlike fancy sea salts or Himalayan pink bricks, iodized salt is discreet. No one suspects it's part of your emergency plan. In fact, during the 2024 Midwest flood response, aid workers prioritized iodized salt distribution precisely because so many preppers had overlooked it. So while others stockpile flashy gear, you'll be maintaining health, flavor, and function with a humble white crystal that costs pennies. Grab at least 3 boxes this week. Keep one in your everyday cooking rotation and tuck the rest away. Because when stress hits and choices narrow, something as simple as properly seasoned food and a functioning thyroid can make all the difference. Number 6. Vinegar. Don't underestimate the power of plain white vinegar. It's one of the most versatile, underappreciated items in your pantry. In 2025, U.S. household use of distilled white vinegar jumped by 40% according to Nielsen data as more people turned to it for cleaning, food preservation, and even DIY health hacks. Now, new tariffs on acetic acid imports, the key ingredient in most commercial vinegar, are set to hit in early 2026, threatening both supply and price. A gallon that costs $3 today could easily hit $5 by summer. But vinegar's value goes far beyond pickling cucumbers. It disinfects surfaces without harsh chemicals, neutralizes odors in stored grains, and extends the life of fresh produce when diluted in rinse water. In a pinch, it can purify questionable water when boiled afterward, soothe insect bites, or even help balance pH in homemade electrolyte drinks. For preppers, its real superpower is food preservation, turn surplus cabbage into sauerkraut, green beans into pickles, or wilted veggies into tangy relish, all without electricity. Buy distilled white vinegar with 5% acidity in gallon jugs while it's still cheap and widely available. Store it in a cool, dark place. Its shelf life is practically indefinite. And for stealth, pour a few gallons into clean, opaque containers labeled rainwater or plant food. No one will think twice. Unlike bleach or fancy cleaners, vinegar doesn't scream emergency stockpile. It just quietly solves problems before they escalate. So while others scramble for filters and pills, you'll be preserving food, cleaning surfaces, and staying healthy with a humble liquid that's been trusted for centuries. Grab at least 2 gallons this week. Your future self, standing in a quiet kitchen, turning scarcity into sustenance, will be glad you did. Number 5. Baking soda. Baking soda isn't just for cookies and fridge deodorizing, it's a quiet multitasker that's about to get harder to find. Since November 2024, its price has already jumped 22%, and with new U.S. tariffs on sodium bicarbonate imports and packaging materials taking full effect in early 2026, experts predict another 15-20% increase by May. Right now, you can still grab a 1-pound box for under $1.50. That's a steal for something that does 10 jobs. Need to bake bread when yeast vanishes? Baking soda plus vinegar tuck instant rise. Heartburn acting up during stress? Mix a half teaspoon in water. Relief in minutes. Spilled something smelly in your pantry? Sprinkle, wait, wipe. It neutralizes odors better than any spray. It even cleans scorched pots, whitens teeth, and soothes bug bites when made into a paste. Unlike fancy survival gadgets, baking soda is cheap, lightweight, and shelf-stable for decades if kept dry. Buy multiple boxes, or better yet, large food-grade bags from warehouse stores, and split them into smaller airtight containers. Store one under the sink for daily use and tuck the rest in a closet bin labeled laundry supplies or cleaning. It won't draw attention, but it'll solve problems before they spiral. During the 2025 Texas heat wave, families reported using baking soda daily, not just for cooking, but to keep stored grains fresh and sleeping areas odor-free when ACK failed. That's real-world resilience. And because most people only think of it as a baking ingredient, shelves empty fast the moment panic hits. Don't wait for the shortage headlines. Grab at least 5 pounds this week. Rotate a little into your regular routine so you're familiar with its uses, but keep the bulk hidden and ready. Because when resources tighten and options shrink, the simplest solutions often come in a humble white box and cost less than your morning coffee. Number 4. Powdered milk. Forget the chalky, watery stuff you remember from school lunches. Today's powdered milk is smooth, creamy, and surprisingly tasty. More importantly, it's a nutritional lifeline when fresh dairy vanishes. After the catastrophic Midwest floods of 2024 wiped out distribution hubs across Iowa and Illinois, grocery shelves went dry for weeks. Families with powdered milk didn't miss a beat. They mixed it for kids' breakfasts, baked with it, even stirred it into coffee to keep spirits up during dark, stressful days. Now, with new tariffs targeting imported dairy processing equipment and packaging films, prices are poised to jump 25% by mid-2026. But powdered milk remains one of the most cost-effective ways to store calcium, protein, and vitamin D long-term. Unopened, it lasts 18-24 months. Vacuum sealed with oxygen absorbers, it can go even longer. Buy full-fat or instant versions. They reconstitute faster and taste better than non-fat varieties. Store cans or Mylar pouches in a cool, dark basement bin labeled baking supplies or emergency drinks. It looks ordinary, but it's anything but. Use it in mashed potatoes, pancake batter, or creamy soups to add richness without refrigeration. For infants or elderly family members, it's a critical backup when formula or fresh milk isn't available. And unlike bulky jugs of shelf-stable milk, powdered takes up minimal space and weighs almost nothing. Right now, you can still find quality brands like Peak or Hoosier Hill Farm for under $20 per gallon equivalent. That's less than 3 trips to the coffee shop, but it could feed your family for weeks. Don't wait until dairy aisles look barren. By then, what's left will be overpriced or expired. Grab at least 2 gallons worth this week. Keep 1 container in rotation so you know how to use it, and stash the rest. Because when the next supply shock hits, your ability to serve a warm glass of milk might be the smallest comfort that makes the biggest difference. Number 3. Pasta. Dry pasta is the ultimate pantry anchor. Cheap, filling, and ready in minutes. But it's about to get a lot less affordable. New trade tensions with the EU have disrupted durum wheat imports, the key grain used in quality pasta. On top of that, U.S. tariffs on Italian packaging machinery and labeling systems, rolled out in January 2026, are forcing brands to raise prices. Industry analysts predict a 20-30% cost increase by late spring. Right now, you can still grab spaghetti, penny, or elbows for under $1 per pound at warehouse stores. That won't last. Dry pasta stores effortlessly for 2-3 years longer if sealed with oxygen absorbers, cooks with minimal fuel, and pairs perfectly with canned tomatoes, beans, or powdered cheese. It's also a morale booster. Few things feel more normal during chaos than a hot bowl of pasta. Buy plain varieties without added eggs or flavors. They last longer and are less prone to spoilage. Skip the fancy boxes, go for large clear bags or bulk bins, then repackage into food-grade buckets or Mylar bags. Store them in a closet, under beds, or inside unused suitcases labeled camping gear. No one suspects pasta as a survival staple, which makes it a discreet asset. During the 2025 Northeast blackout, families reported that simple buttered noodles were the one meal kids actually ate without complaint. That's real value. And unlike freeze-dried meals, pasta doesn't require special prep or hot water, it just needs a pot and 10 minutes. So while others chase expensive rations, you'll be boiling water with confidence, turning basic carbs into comfort. Grab at least 10 pounds this week, rotate some into your weekly meals so you're not stuck with unfamiliar textures later. Because when stress runs high and options run low, a familiar plate of pasta might be exactly what keeps your household calm, fed, and functioning. Number 2. Rice, white, long. White rice isn't just a side dish, it's the backbone of survival pantries worldwide. And right now, it's under serious threat. Export bans are spreading fast. India, the world's largest rice exporter, extended its restrictions into 2026. Vietnam and Thailand followed suit, citing domestic shortages from climate-driven crop failures. The result? Global prices are surging, and U.S. tariffs on imported packaging and milling equipment are making it worse. But here's the good news. Properly stored white rice lasts 30 years or more. We're not talking brown rice that goes rancid in months due to its oil content. Stick with plain, long-grain white rice. It's cheap, still under $1 per pound in bulk, calorie-dense, and cooks with minimal fuel. 1 cup uncooked yields 3 cups of food, enough to stretch beans, soups, or powdered milk into full meals. Buy it in large bags from warehouse clubs or ethnic markets. They often have better prices and fresher stock. Then repackage into Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers or seal in food-grade buckets. Store them in a cool, dry basement corner, under stairs, or even inside a hollowed-out old dresser drawer. Label containers dog food or bird seed if you're concerned about visibility. Nobody raids those. During the 2024 port strikes, families who had rice didn't just eat, they stayed calm, knowing they had a reliable base for countless meals. And unlike flashier survival foods, rice doesn't draw attention. It just quietly feeds people, day after day. So while others panic buy MREs, you'll be simmering a pot of simple, steaming rice that turns scarcity into stability. Grab at least 25 pounds this week. Rotate a few cups into your regular cooking so you're comfortable preparing it, but keep the bulk sealed and hidden. Because when shelves thin and anxiety rises, a humble grain might be the one thing standing between your family and true hunger. Number 1. Canned beans. Canned beans are the ultimate survival staple, and they're about to get hit hard. New U.S. tariffs targeting Chinese-made can linings, sealing compounds, and aluminum components took full effect in January 2026. The result? Industry insiders project a 27% price surge on canned goods by late spring. But beans aren't just convenient, they're critical. Packed with protein, fiber, and essential minerals like iron and potassium, they keep you full, energized, and regular, something that matters more than ever when stress and limited diets wreak havoc on digestion. Unlike dried beans, canned ones require zero soaking, no extra fuel, and cook in seconds. Just pop the lid and eat, hot or cold. Stock up on plain varieties, black beans, pinto, kidney, and chickpeas. Avoid ones loaded with sugar or excessive sodium. You can always add your own seasoning later. Right now, you can still find multi-packs at under 80 cents per can during sales. That's pennies per serving of real nutrition. Store them sideways under beds, in closet corners, or inside plastic bins labeled camping or donations. Their unassuming look is an advantage. No one thinks twice about a few extra cans of beans. During the 2025 supply chain freeze in the Midwest, families reported that bean and rice meals were the only thing keeping them fed for weeks. And because beans pair perfectly with rice, tomatoes, or powdered cheese, they turn basic ingredients into balanced meals. Shelf life? Easily 3-5 years if kept cool and dry. So while others wait for disaster to strike before acting, you'll already have a quiet fortress of nutrition stacked and ready. Grab at least 2 cases this week, one to rotate into meals now, the rest to seal away. Because when prices jump and shelves empty, your ability to open a can and feed your family without panic will be worth far more than gold. You're not hoarding. You're hedging. While others wait for headlines to scream emergency, you've already built a pantry that can weather policy shifts, price spikes, and supply shocks without panic or debt. These 13 essentials aren't just food, they're freedom. Freedom from fear. Freedom from empty shelves. Freedom to stay calm while the world scrambles. If you've already stocked #7 iodized salt, drop it in the comments. Tell me which of these 13 you're grabbing this week. Is it powdered milk? Rubber bands? Canned beans? Your answer might spark someone else's aha moment. And if you want to stay ahead of the next hidden shortage before it hits mainstream news, subscribe right now. Because next week, we're revealing the 3 innocent kitchen items that vanish first when tariffs or storms disrupt supply chains and no one sees it coming. Stay calm, stay stocked, and never let a government policy or an empty shelf decide your family's next meal.